Here we are. Welcome back to way too many episodes of the Scope podcast. Last one of the year. Appreciate you coming in, Nath.
No worries. Thanks for having me, mate.
2020, bro. It's been a crazy old year. They're throwing a spanner in the works already. Potentially supposed to be going away on your break, going away to Perth. I'll talk about the intro soon. Potentially supposed to be going away to Perth, and as of right now, it's 11:15, and we're waiting on news, eh?
Yeah, so I was meant to be going to Perth tomorrow, actually, and yeah, I think that's pretty much been canned. So pretty spewing about that, but it's just the year it's been, and a few curveballs in it, but just gotta live with it.
Got to roll the punches. So hit the TikTok. Hit the intro, bro. So we can't do it. It's all good. That's where I do my best work, baby. Shit. Are we done?
Try.
Yeah, it's on. 2020. Well, actually, first and foremost, bro, living with Normie, I know it's been a real strenuous year. I think you even talked about like more mentally 4 years. How's it been to just now kick the feet up for the last few weeks after a pretty strenuous year?
Yeah, it's been mad, eh? Like, I think we were kind of lucky out in Penrith that we had a pretty good year, and you know that made it more enjoyable to be around the boys and coming to train each week. But just like I've like a real good like close bunch of friends outside of footy as well, so that was probably the hardest thing. Not being able to see them, not being able to see family, stuff like that. So it's been cool the last few weeks, just catching up with all of them again, having a few beers, stuff like that. It's been pretty cruisy, but yeah, just catching up with people we haven't been able to see in age has been the best part. Yeah,
so we just touch on it a little bit. You're supposed to go to Perth. Now that that's done, have you got any more plans coming up over Chrissy and that, or?
Nah, not really. Probably was just going to spend like time with family over Chrissy and that. I'm not sure about news and stuff now, so
yeah.
A few of my mates meant to be going out to Bondi, but we'll see what happens. So
might be floating around. Might be a little white HCR party tonight. So let's touch on 2020. Let's start pretty much from the start. So many highs, couple of little lows in there mixed in. Had a little laugh about the TikTok. That sort of started off the year. But like you touched on, in particular, I thought you guys, obviously with the record, you were able to handle coming out of that bubble and going on that run. What do you think you boys handled that so well in particular at the club?
Yeah, I think it probably helped a little bit. The first two games we got wins on the board and we were like, we've had a pretty good start. We don't want to kind of waste it. Everything was kind of up in the air, but the coaching staff, high performance unit handled it really well. They kind of they didn't really flog us, but they just gave us training to kind of keep up to date, keep the fitness kind of going. I thought we had a really good preseason as well, so probably didn't want that to go to waste. And then, I guess we were lucky enough that the season came around a lot quicker than what we thought, but we were kind of ready to go. And, once we got into footy, everyone was keen. And, I thought we gelled pretty well as a group, off the field, on the field. And I thought that was a massive part of why we, kickstarted really well out of COVID.
Yeah. You think a big part, like, I touched on it a few times and we were talking about leading in the playoffs, you boys playing together, like he's played a lot of footy together. Good mate of mine, Jimmy Maloney, he was there last year, but with you and Jerome having that, it just seems seamless this year. And you got, a few more, Tyrone May, all these boys that you've been close with for a minute. I thought in particular, like your connection off the field helped you on the field. With that,
yeah, for sure,
is that a fair assessment?
100%. I think that was probably the biggest thing. I think everyone talks about wanting to play in like a close group of mates and stuff like that, but I thought it really was like that this year. I think there are a lot of different personalities, but I think the kind of culture we were in, everyone was allowed to kind of be themselves without being dickheads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it just gelled really well. You have people like Isaiah Yeo, who's the complete opposite to Jerome Luai.
Yeah,
they just got along so well, and it was kind of cool. Like the older guys were probably the more like chilled out, humble guys, but they were like the leaders. And then there's these younger guys coming in with all this kind of confidence and all that. And it was just
the swag, bro.
It was just a good mix, man. It was just good to be around. It was fun, and I think that definitely helped on the field. Yeah,
always carrying on about being Western Sydney Scope, and because growing up out there, bro, and playing in the lower grades, because I got on you guys for the grand final in that run, and I was going, man, I can feel that Western Sydney swag, and that's like for people that don't know, like that's you can feel it, eh? Like that's an actual thing, like growing up around the area. And I think even like the guys that you end up playing in the grand final said the same thing. I think you guys in particular having your relationships, and then I seen the GOAT Cam Smith was on Kempy's podcast the other day, and And he's talking about just being locked up in Sunny Coast together, getting to know each other on a different level.
Yeah.
I think that was obviously massive for you boys. You touched on your coaching and your performance. How's your mate Hayden Knowles is supposed to come in?
Yeah, he's been talking about yeah.
We're having a giggle about that.
Yeah, he's been talking about coming on here. So,
and Catman, Cat's there as well.
Catman, yeah. So pretty good crew out there.
Yeah.
H he'd be good on here. He's the king of name drops, but he's also got a lot of good stories.
Yeah, he loves the way the boys are training. Is he still pulling that one?
Loves the way Romy trains.
Yeah. So Romy, for people that don't know, Hayden Knowles was my trainer and Craig Catterick at Parramatta when time we're coming through, and. Mate, if I had $1 for every time he said it, he loved the way Hainsey was training.
It's Romy now.
It's Romy now.
Yeah,
so Hainsey now it's Romy. But I love those two guys, man. They were massive for me coming through. They bring a lot of energy. Even with like the basketball court, when I see you boys fucking around in that basketball court and always high energy. We used to have a game in the gym and Knowlesy would be like, all right, we've got a footy while we're doing weights. And if you want to throw the footy, you throw cutout balls through the gym. If you drop it, you got to do fucking minutes on the row or fucking do extras on the row. And just shit like that's infectious in that. Yeah. And I think it rubs off on your footy as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's probably the best thing about Knowles. He kind of brings like games into it. So it's not always like, even in preseason, like there's a lot of games to start off in warm up. It's not like the stock standard high knees and stuff like that. So he's been really good for that. And I think, he cops a lot of like slack off the boys, but he handles it pretty well. And I think that's what makes him get along with the boys so well.
Yeah, that's what you appreciate. And the coaching stuff, obviously, one thing I want to touch on as well, with the old man being the coach, throughout this little process, what would you say the pros and cons of being coached by your old man have been in this time?
Yeah, I think the pros are definitely just having a coach that you can just talk to about anything. Obviously, being my dad, I trust him with everything. We can kind of have those conversations and stuff like that. I think he knows my game probably better than anyone as well. I think he's had a massive impact on me this year and my development, I guess. And I think probably the cons are just things like, say, if obviously the thing with Sauce at the moment, like that's really hard because I'm really good mates with Sauce, but those decisions have to be made. But I think
for sure.
I think the boys have made that a lot easier. Like it's got to the stage where at training he's just the coach, and if they never really say anything to me about him, so it's kind of been left out of that. But then at home he's dad. So
do you watch much footy together? Like do you get and watch film, like sit together? If you're going over for dinner or whatever, you sit and watch film. Like when you're during family time and go, oh fuck, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that, or
I think mum kind of hates that because I think me and dad just both kind of love footy. We've always kind of watched it.
Same with my old man. He played as well. So whenever, like, I got to give him his half an hour footy talk, and then we do family talk after that.
There's always some footy talk, but I think it's kind of cool because we both enjoy it. When I was living at home, we always used to watch footy together, and now when we go around, if there's a game on, we'll watch it. It's probably a bit more technical now about what we can do as a team and stuff like that. But I kind of like it like that. I do love more footy. So,
and speaking of Ivan being his dad, Ice talks him up a whole lot about, he's obviously, we respect him as well, but, Ice makes out like he might be his stepson with how much he raps him and their relationship. Is Ice as close to your dad as he makes out? Or?
Well, I think Ice talks about Ive a lot more than Ive talks about Ice. So, but Ice is always pretty complimentary of him. So I think Dad likes that.
Yeah, well, it's good, mate. Like, because away from, like, we have a little bit of fun in here, but I think in particular, me and Ice, I think with coaching, because we're footy heads. Like as much as we fuck around and we do all this stuff, at the end of the day, we're footy heads and we love like breaking. Like we'll talk about. We think coaches are so important. So like obviously he's got a high regard on your dad. I always speak highly of BA, Brad Arthur, who I had a lot of time with, and I think coaching's so important for those middle guys. I think the elite are the elite, and then in a way they can sort of run a team. But when you see the results of some of the guys that come through, some of the younger guys, I think that's a massive rap on what your dad's been doing there at Penrith, and Ice likes letting us know that.
It sure does.
But I don't know why it didn't work out for Ice.
Well, Ice always says that. He goes, the most times I talked to Ive was when I was getting caught in his office, getting dropped back to reserve grade. So.
What was a giggle, but remember when he was talking about about you looking up to a 6. Like, that was the best. So on the card gang, Lukey's in the background as well. So Ice is carrying on a little bit about looking up to a 6 that played at Penrith and Warriors back in the day. And Nate goes, "Who, Jimmy Maloney?"
It was a perfect opportunity. I was like,
and you were only new into the group too. I remember when you first, I said, "Fuck, I like this guy."
I think you've just lost more than 250. I don't even know if you're on the Christmas party.
It's good content, baby. Hey, as long as I'm putting out good content, it doesn't matter. So we touched on a little bit the highs and the lows. Couple of the lows, obviously, didn't get the job done in the grand final and the Origin series. Now looking back at those two, have you had a time to reflect? Where do you think? What are some things you can take into 2021 that you've sort of learning curves from those two big moments for you?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, that's just kind of sums up the year, I guess. I think I was talking with Yoey after that last Origin game, and it was like, it's been like such a good year, but literally 2 games, just the 2 most important games, like, make it a shit year. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how that happens. I think it's just about kind of seizing the moment, but I think the way you do that is probably by being process driven rather than kind of worrying too much about results. Yep. And I think looking back, especially on the grand final for me now, like, I fucking kick myself about it, but there's a few moments in that game where I was just worrying too much about winning the game rather than focusing on the process, focusing on actually playing the game and enjoying the game. Like, there were times where I was, just worried so much about winning. It was probably affecting the way I was playing, and then it affects kind of my influence on the rest of the team as well. And I think that definitely had played a part in the way I played, and I definitely wasn't happy with the way I played in that grand final and a couple of those Origins. And I think coming out of it, that's probably the biggest thing. If I can focus more so on process rather than so much winning the game, which is obviously what you want to do, but if you get too caught ahead in that, you just don't. You're not present. You're not playing the game as you see it, and probably more worried about making mistakes and stuff like that as well. And I think this year, I think I've made strides in that, like, gotten better. But and probably in those 2 biggest games, I fell back into, I guess, old habits and didn't play the way I wanted to.
Well, especially we're going to talk about Philly as well. Trust the process, bro. So you should have known better. But especially and you played the ultimate team of fucking trust the process, bro. Like, 100%. At the end of the day, I was right in that energy, so I still back you. But, like, me and Finchie were doing the pre-game talking about how clinical they are. And obviously you can tell you've already taken lessons from that. But so what will be the focus? You probably haven't been back with the boys yet, or I don't know if you have been back at training. What do you reckon the focus will be? Is that sort of going to be the focus for 2021 to, just focus on making sure just the little things? And
I think so.
Because it's a hard one, bro. Like, just quickly touching on, when I got to Manly, we played in the grand final in 2013, and I said this before on the breakdown of the show. Like, sometimes you just expect it's going to happen, man, and you fucking got to get back after it, eh?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the main focus, is just kind of having that hunger now to get better and improve. And to be honest, I think that's what we did pretty well this year. Each week, like, we'd enjoy a win as you need to, and but once it got to Monday at training, we'd kind of, we knew we needed to get better, and we ripped in at training. I think it's probably the main focus this year, and it is a lot easier said than done, talking about, like, focusing on the process rather than results. And that was something that we had spoken about through the year, but I think once a couple of things went wrong in those big games, especially in that grand final, we just kind of me included, just kind of shit ourselves a bit and didn't focus on that. So that's definitely a big lesson for all of us. And
that experience.
Yeah, 100%. And I think with such a young group too, like, it gives you that kind of fire in the belly to improve now and rip into training. You've got people like James Fisher-Harris, who's spoken to him a little bit, and he's fucking pumped, just to like get back. And
fuck, your middles were good. Like Fish and Isaiah this year. Unbelievable. You could tell straight from the first game. I said, because I know a little bit of Isaiah growing up. He lived with my parents out at the Penrith house as well. And I seen him develop, like, sort of started in the centres and then moved in the edge back row. And then after watching that first game with him and Uppy, when they put, like, we're just getting around the ruck, I was like, fuck, he's at home there.
He's a freak. I think just the balance of the team as well. Like, we spoke about it a bit off the field, but on the field, like, I don't think I've ever played in a team where everyone was just, like, so in form and just playing well each week. And
you're all just doing your role, like, you're leading the way with it. You're like, you can see you and Jerome bring the energy as well as, like, obviously the leadership around the ruck. But you can tell everyone just fucking did their job to the best of their ability.
I just think, so many people were just underrating what we did this year. Like Dylan Edwards at the back was enormous, especially coming off the year he had last year. Like just some of the stuff he did was so vital to our team, bringing up in. And then, you mentioned the middles and even our back rowers like Liam Martin had a massive year.
Bro, he was gone.
Kicks on the other edges, the X factor. And then, the middles are just, I can't speak highly enough of them. Yeah,
well, the call's all there, bro. So I think we'll talk a little bit off air about, the process of appreciating great teams. Like I said, you end up playing against that fucking grouse Melbourne team. So plenty of learning curves there. Some of the other teams we talked about in the NBA and NFL, I got you in to talk a little bit about that. I haven't done really fucking some of them in a while, so looking forward to talking about that. You've got a love for Philly. So 76ers and the Eagles. Yeah. We'll start off. Why Philly? Where did it all start? Going for those teams?
Yeah, it kind of started like more so with NFL. I was a massive Michael Vick fan.
Gun.
Yeah, started playing with him on like Madden and that.
Yeah,
like,
that's where I started.
I don't know how I came across it, but he was just a gun. Just
it wasn't no, he was at the Falcons in 04, so that was a cheat code. I was probably too young for that, bro?
I was a bit young. That was probably more like around like 07, I think. There. But man, I just loved watching him, and he was a beast on Madden. So I think that's where the love for Philly kind of came from. And then
he's cool as fuck too.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah. And then I was kind of just like tossing up between NBA teams. I always liked basketball, but I never really had a team.
Yeah.
I was like, then Ben Simmons went to Philly,
Aussie.
So I was like, fuck, I'll just match it up, Philly and Philly.
Yeah, how good. Everyone ends up starting off the same way with that stuff. With Philly, won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Now they're going through a bit of a transition period. Is Carson Wentz the guy? Is he not? Jalen Hurts, he's like similar to Vic in the way he can fucking move around and manipulate the pocket. Who do you like moving forward out of the two?
Yeah, it's funny. I actually joined like a few like Philly groups on Facebook and that.
Yeah.
And, people just go
they're ruthless,
crazy.
Bro. I'll follow the Panthers one.
Ruthless.
Yeah. You think like if anyone's watching and they think NRL's bad, like getting sprayed on bloke in the bar on YKTR Sports,
right?
It's a whole different level.
I feel a bit better about myself, but that's the massive debate at the moment, like Carson or Jalen. But I think Hurts is like perfect for the rest of this year. Like he's a new face. He probably brings a bit of energy to the team. There's not much film on him and stuff like that. But I don't think I think once people start to work him out a bit, he's probably not a great passer. Like I watched him a bit at Oklahoma, and like I loved him there. Like I love watching him. Like he's got legs, like he can move. But I think Carson Wentz is the guy. But I think they just kind of need to build around him as well. Like I think
you've got no weapons there at the moment.
Some of the picks they've made in the last few years are just like they could have had DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
They could have had Justin Jefferson last year.
Yeah, that
like you put them two with Carson Wentz is a different story. But
you picked that a Sega Whiteside or something.
Yeah.
Like he's had like 3 or 4 wide receivers out last year, and they still wasn't playing. So
he was
on the practice squad.
And then like you look at what Carson Wentz did last year with the team that they had. Like it was a pretty dud team, and he got him to the playoffs. So I rate Carson Wentz. I think he's a gun. I think they just need to probably build around a bit more. O-line's pretty beat up, but it'll be interesting to see what Jalen Hurts can do for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Like you almost got to let it play out. You got to take the pressure off Wentz. Like you said, the strength of that team was the O-line.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, like Lane Johnson and all those sort of guys. Like
now,
Kelsey.
Now he's just like he's in the pocket, just running for his life. And
so,
it'll be interesting to see what they do. But I reckon Carson Wentz is the man. He's probably in a team where like they made him the franchise guy, but they weren't prepared to like build around him. Where like most other teams, they get a franchise quarterback and they want to give him weapons and stuff like that. So
I think you're right. I think looking back on it now, just hearing you out, like the draft was massive for him. Last couple of years in particular, you get a couple more weapons, it makes all that difference. Like I'm a Packers fan, so you see the difference between when Devontae Adams is out there for him, like those couple of weeks that we lost Devontae, and Patty Mahomes gets all those raps, man, but he's got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. How do you see the rest of the season playing out as well? Do you got a MVPs? Looks like it's going to come down between Rodgers and Patty.
Yeah.
Who do you think will win out of them two?
I actually got on your boy Rodgers at 750 last week. He's coming to like 250.
Yeah, grouse.
I reckon he's a big chance, Like I reckon just the run they're on, like Chiefs they're winning games, but they kind of plateauing a bit. And I reckon A-Rod could have a big few weeks. I reckon.
When I think I've chucked a few things on the card game. I see you got on my Cleveland Brown ones.
Yeah. Fuck.
Ravens bro. If they'd won that game, that was that would have looked good.
Crazy.
But I've become a bit of a jinx at the moment with my bets. But yeah, with Rodgers in particular, I think the big number is 50 because of the win-loss with the Chiefs. If they've got that 2-game lead on them.
Yeah.
I think if Rodgers can get to 50, though, fuck, I don't know if there's many quarterbacks that have thrown 50 touchdown
100%.
passes
He's been on fire this year
and not got it. So, do you think Chiefs? Anyone beating the Chiefs this year?
Yeah, it's hard to see them getting beaten if they're playing real well, but I think two teams that kind of have good defense. That I think to beat the Chiefs, you kind of need to come up with a couple of stops, but you don't want to get in a shootout with them, but you still got to have like weapons on offense. So I reckon the Saints and Tampa Bay could they could knock them off.
Yeah, Tampa Bay were coming back a little bit there. They've got the Saints next week or this week.
Yeah, like I reckon the Saints with Drew Brees back, like they're a pretty good chance because their defense can come up with a few big plays, and they've got Michael Thomas back, Alvin Kamara's there, Drew Brees, so and
get Taysom Hill back to playing that weapon that he plays there.
Like I reckon, they're probably my two to knock them off, but fuck, they're hard to beat.
Yeah, fucking oath. Packers, I don't think we've got the dough. I've been talking them down all year. Man. Like, we're the same. Like with the draft, like with regards to you guys kicking on. If we had a better draft, because I didn't see anyone beating San Fran at the start of the year, but then with all those injuries,
well, that's what it is. Like even in these last few weeks, if there's a big injury to like one of those big teams, it throws a spanner in the works. But
that's going back to your footy stuff as well. Like this is where it throws a spanner in the works. You can have the fucking best year ever, but like injuries can happen in fucking either team. You look at the Roosters, like like they lose Latrell, and then Cooper retires, but then they lose Verrills and Radley, which I thought were massive at the start of the year. So when we started talking back in the finals, it's the same thing in both sports. Like you fucking nothing's guaranteed.
100%.
In any sport. So you sort of just got to, especially in the NFL, if you can plan for the best, to put your best out there. NBA, rolling the NBA stuff. Another decision that's probably been around in Philly for a while now, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And the card game collection too, bro. Like, we still haven't had the break for you yet.
I know, bro. I know. I've been waiting for it, but it's been good to be a part of it. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty funny, It's a good little group, man.
It makes it like, it's like mad group, like good chat in there and that, but it's cool, like just getting cards and seeing how they go up and down, and especially during the NBA season, like it's pretty cool.
Have you been following anyone in the cards in particular in the basketball?
I got a bit onto Devontae Graham from the Hornets. So he had a pretty big year last year, like good shooter. His cards were pretty cheap and that, so I had a bit of a slash at him. But now that they've got like Gordon Hayward there, LaMelo went there, so it might bring him up a bit. But
What about looking at let's go back to the Philly stuff actually before you move on. Who do you like? Just say they haven't been able to get the job done, it seems, in the last couple of years. They've come up, I think that big shot against when Kawhi put up that shot at Toronto.
No,
that would have killed you. But if you were to choose between one or the other, who would you take out of them?
Yeah, it's a hard one, but I can't go past Ben Simmons. I just think he brings so much more. His probably ceiling's a lot higher. I think Embiid's a gun, but I think you could probably build around Ben Simmons as well if you just give him a few shooters. Like I think they got Seth Curry in that this year. Which
did they? Did they get
Seth
Curry? Did they?
Curry, so
I didn't see
that'll be a good little pickup. There was talks about Harden going there. But then if Harden went there, you'd probably have to give away either Simmons or Embiid. So my guy's probably Simmons. I think Embiid's a gun, but I just think Simmons' ceiling's probably higher, and just his core vision and passing and stuff like that just brings another dimension. Yeah,
fuck, I don't know about Harden. I don't know, because for me it seemed like the same sort of thing. Like Harden wants to bring him out, play that pick and roll.
Yeah, I know.
Joel doesn't want to do that. And then obviously Ben probably wants the ball because he's not a shooter as well, so he wants to kick it out.
Yeah, that's that.
We've got some breaking news.
Some breaking news with a bit of a scope scoop midway.
Scope scoop. Here we go.
Shams NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers have made Ben Simmons available in some packages with the Houston Rockets for James Harden.
Hey, what about that timing, That's a scope scoop.
Scoop, right?
There it is. Wow.
Sources tell The Athletic.
So they've got Doc Rivers there now. Fuck. One of them's got, for me, like I've seen enough now over the last couple of years. I don't know, like you being a fan of them, you probably watched them all, but I feel like one of them's got to go because Ben Simmons wants to open it up.
They're doing the same thing, I mean? Like, Simmons wants to drive the loop, but Embiid wants it in the post. Wants to lock it down there. So, I guess one of them have to leave, but we're interested to see what happens. Yeah, well, that's a nice little scope. Guys, go on, we're on again.
Scope scoop.
Or did you press a little fucking? Did you press a button then or something? Oh. So what about the rest of the NBA this year? They went sort of through the same sort of thing that you had, the little bubble.
Yeah.
Who do you like this year? Is anyone beat like the Lakers have retooled? They're looking all right.
Yeah, I can't see anyone beating the Lakers. Just even their pickups, it makes them better now.
Yeah, so, they could probably win a game like heaps of games without LeBron now
Yeah,
this year.
100%. And like even LeBron last year, it felt like he was, playing a lot more defense and stuff like that. Like he wanted a lot more, and probably found that again now. And it would have been interesting if like Clay didn't get injured. Like I like the Golden State team. I reckon they got a mad team. And, I think one of the boys said in the card game check the other day, like any team with Steph's like a chance. Yeah. So.
And he looks like he's like proper excited to be back.
Even the Nets, like with KD back, like that makes it interesting. But
Giannis stays in Milwaukee as well.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad that happened. Like,
I want him to come to Heat.
Yeah, I know. But like it makes it cool. Like there's a few like big teams now. Obviously, like Lakers I think they're just like next level. But
I feel like they're beatable though. Like it's not like the old Golden State Warriors teams or even though they got beaten in a little span, but that was ridiculous. And then Miami Heat when LeBron first went there, that was ridiculous. But I feel like they are beatable.
Yeah, it's not like that proper like super team like those ones were.
And I feel like there's a nice balance all the way throughout the league. I think even with my Heat, like people were sleeping on them. Yeah. They were getting better and better.
Hero will get better again.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully those cards go up. You know, I've got a fair few of those cards over. I hope they don't dip, man, because I spent some fucking VAT on them. But any predictions? So let's go NBA championship, MVP, and rookie of the year. Just then we'll look back and I'll get a few of the boys now rolling in throughout the season. So you're number one.
I'll go Lakers to win it.
Yeah.
MVP. Jeez. I'm gonna go Steph.
Steph?
I'm gonna go Steph, yeah.
Steph's paying good money. He's about $7 or $8 bucks.
Steph. And rookie of the year, I'm gonna go LaMelo.
LaMelo.
Yeah.
Pretty consistent, eh? I think we'll get a lot of those coming through. But thanks for coming in, bro. Appreciate it. Bit of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Hopefully see you on the boat tonight,
we'll see.
My God.